Hi there, now I'm going to tell you the plot of Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, but in short, it is GiockBul and let's go! We are flying through the city of Midgar, seeing some beautiful sights. We start the story with a young guy named Cloud, who used to be a soldier and now works as a mercenary. Soldier is an elite squad of Shinra. Specifically, we'll be working together with the Avalanche guys who are eco-terrorists. And our task is to blow up the macro reactor so that the evil people from Shinra can't extract resources from the Earth. We take the bomb and place it on the reactor itself so that the explosion is powerful enough to shake the entire city of Midgar with its shockwave. But the nasty Shinra interferes and sends their scorpion after us, trying to kill us. We successfully deal with it and it's time to run. And we need to run as fast as we can or else it will be kaboom. Finally it happened, everything exploded. So here we are on the streets of the slums. And now we urgently need to get our payment for the job. We encounter the silver-haired Sephiroth, exchange some words, and try to impale him with our big sword. But unfortunately the strike misses and hits the ground. We meet another girl who tries to sell us a flower. It would look beautiful on Cloud's chest, especially with his cute face. But then the cursed spirits called Whispers appear and it's time to run and fight against Shinra. I love running so much. And apparently jumping as well, because there is a train coming and we managed to escape. I love jumping so much. We arrive at the final destination without arousing suspicion and head for our paycheck. Well, we finally reach the Avalanche base, but we don't see any money and the lovely girl Tifa doesn't want to give it to us, but she can offer something else, a little cozy room. Here Cloud tries to fall asleep, but some jerk next door is disturbing us. Well, let's go find out what's going on, and we see Sephiroth there. Well, forgot about the guy for now, we already had our sleep and it's time for new adventures. Once again we didn't get any money, but we are going on a date with Tifa, who will show us various suspicious guys who might sell something. Honestly, Cloud is too distant with Tifa and we need money. She even hints that we have no reputation in this city, so it's time to improve it. Well, we have improved our reputation, now let's go do some missions for the guy named Chudley. Well, at least they gave us some money, we don't want to work for free after all. Here we are returning after killing rats and different creatures and suddenly Johnny appears in our way. Shinra captured him. This stubborn criminal is suspected of stealing explosives, but in reality it was our Avalanche buddies. Poor guy, let's release him and move on. We return to the bar and finally they give us our hard-earned money. Well, Barret sent us away and we won't be helping him anymore, but then some guys are looking for him, so let's just beat them up. And here we are returning home and JC is there, wanting to. Wants to meet us at night. Well, let's go. The more ladies in the harem, the better, right? Time to cosplay bikers, too bad it's not a date and Wedge and Biggs tagging along with us. And how can we do without some handsome guys in the frame? This time it's Roach. We take on the role of a thief and this time let's steal the keycard from JC's father. We hand it over to JC. And all of this is so that she can infiltrate the warehouse and retrieve the explosive from there. Of course it is a Shinra warehouse. Oh my dear chubby friend, let's go for a ride. And yes, this is the plan for now to properly escape from our wicked deeds against Shinra. Harem, I want more harem girls in it. That's why Cloud will be called to the girls, but we have the boys. Woman, let me get some sleep. One calls me at night, the other comes to my house, so let me rest for once. I love the chubby Wedge. Well, sleeping properly won't happen as the whispers burst in on all of us. And here our girl JC injures her leg, which is actually good because taking care of her will become easier. It also means that Cloud takes on the next mission for Avalanche. And you travel to the next mission by train, like true terrorists. Sorry, I mean eco-terrorists. But something went wrong, namely the security system activated and couldn't recognize our IDs as valid, so now we are enemies. But our goal is to blow up another macro reactor, so take a different route. We jump off the train and make our way to the reactor. After intense battles, we come across the crab, blow it up, and the pass is open ahead. Finally, we reach one of the sectors, but we still have a long way to go to the reactor and we have several plans for how to proceed. But the main plan is to destroy everything in our path, and here we meet Biggs, who shows us the right way to move forward. And we'll also need grappling guns. Oh, hi there, our future enemy robots. And here's the reactor where we can place a remotely controlled bomb. Suddenly, a hologram of the very big Heidegger appears and he tells us that everything is being broadcasted, as if we are on some kind of stream where everyone can see us. Moving on, and now our task is to prevent a giant robot from gathering parts to assemble itself fully, so we redirect its path. And here Bart decides to address the people, saying that Shinra is bad and will be held accountable for their villainous deeds, specifically for for extracting energy from our planet. While we were talking to the huge bearded guy Heidegger, the robots turned the remote controlled bomb into a timed bomb. And here's the robot we successfully blew up, but we are still far from the actual explosion, which is good. But after the explosion, Cloud falls into the unknown place. And then Cloud regains consciousness, or rather, he will be awakened by the girl Ares. The harem must grow, I believe. And here comes one of the representatives of the Turks named Reno. He wants to take Ares away, but let me tell you, we are her bodyguards for at least one whole date. Well, we want to kill Reno, and suddenly the whispers appear, taking us far away from Reno to safety. Now let's escort our lovely girl to her home. She loves interacting with children and all that. Well, we have taken her home, but her mom isn't exactly pleased with us because we might cause problems for Ares. And now brave Cloud together with Ares go to rescue the children. After all, they are the flowers of life, and Ares sells flowers. And on our way back we encounter Sephiroth, who is everywhere, literally, because he can be almost anywhere, specifically in bodies of people wearing cloaks and tattoos in the form of numbers. But as they say, you can't have too many good people. Ares is very popular, and another fashionable gentleman named Root, also from the Turks, wants to take her away. However, Ares stays with us in the end because we are the strongest and manage to defeat him. We return home to Ares and go to sleep. At night we try to go back home to Sector 7, but Ares catches us on the way and he wants to accompany us to Sector 7. Ares wants to take us to our home through some underground ruins. After a long journey, she shows us the way to the sewer that will help us reach Sector 7. But then we notice Tifa, who is heading to Don Corneo's place to get some necessary information from him. And there we arrive at the place where she went, but we need permission from 3 interesting individuals, and there something happens. Namely, Don Corneo chooses his waifu. We head to Madame M, who can provide one of the permissions, but there is condition that we have to win the tournament taking place here, and win it so that we have enough money to dress up our lovely Ares. After battles against weak opponents, the main enemy emerged, the Hell House, which we have to fight. After the victory, we finally get to see Ares in a different outfit, one that suits her to become a waifu. We then go to another person named Sam, who gives us the second permission. And now it's time to obtain the third permission, but the way we do it. Cloud dancing is incredibly embarrassing, it's even shameful just to watch it. But what's even more embarrassing is becoming that very waifu, sweet boy Cloud, who becomes a true waifu in this cruel world. However, we obtain the permission from Andrea Rode. Finally, they let us send Ares inside so that we can find our beloved Tifa, but then gas is released into the room, making us fall asleep. And we find ourselves in a room with Tifa. We participate in the Best Waifu contest and Cloud emerges as a winner, but let's not forget why we are here. And there Leslie helps us by giving us our weapons. Now our girls have bows, and overall we need to find out from this chubby guy what Shinra is up to. The plan to blow up the pillars, which will collapse a huge plate onto Sector 7 where Avalanche headquarters is located. The cunning mustached chubby guy tosses us into the sewers with the rats. In the end, the 35th enemy clears the path for us to follow. Eventually, after prolonged battles and wandering in this boring sewer, we find a way up to the air, to freedom. Well, as for freedom, we end up at the train graveyard. It's a scary place because now we have to fight ghosts and the like. And here I am reminded of a famous anime since our opponent is Ghoul. We defeat the spirit and that's one of the good news. The second one is that there are two charming girls running around near us. Then we encounter a tornado that takes away one of the girls and now she is held captive by the spirits. The main villain of this train graveyard is Elgor. We destroy him and the spirits are set free. Now I hope they can rest in peace. Meanwhile, Avalanche faces problems with Shinra, who wants to blow up the pillars. The brave warriors of Avalanche try to fend them off, but unfortunately things are going very poorly. And our heroes go to save the asses of our friends from Avalanche, but then Wedge falls and he is in very bad shape. The next victim is Biggs, who is also in a bad state. Meanwhile, Tifa asks Ares to take Marlene, Barrett's daughter, to be a safe place. We find Barrett's daughter and try to take her to safety, but then we encounter 10, also from Turks. They are also annoying, but we make a deal with him, and they take Marlene to a safe place while they take Ares with them. Meanwhile, the members of Cloud Harem tries to blow up the helicopter with a grenade. Unfortunately, she gets severely injured in the process, but she manages to disable the helicopter. What a brave girl! The beauty dies and we move on, the battle continues. During the battle we defeat Root and Reno, but unfortunately Root manages to initiate a process that will explode the pillars. Then appears on the screen with Ares and says that we have made contact with the Ancients. In the end everything explodes, but our heroes manage to escape the situation unharmed. Now it's time to get out these ruins and find Marlene so that Barrett can come down. Marlene is at Ares' house when we arrive. When we arrive there, her mother tells us a story. She is not Ares' real mother, she just takes care of her. And she tells that Ares is an ancient who can communicate with spirits. It's time for us to go to the destroyed bar to see what happened there, but there we find Cat, who will lead us to our next target. Eventually the cat leads us to Wedge, who is unconscious. Meanwhile, strange experimental monsters burst into the room where Wedge was, and we successfully deal with them. But then spirits suddenly appear and take away our heroes. The most important thing is that the cat is safe. We take Wedge home to Ares, where he'll be safe. Now Elmira allows us to save Ares from Shinra's hands. Our target now is the Shinra building, but perhaps the chubby Don Corneo knows something about it, but he's not there and Leslie meets us, saying he'll take us to him. Leslie leads us to the door that leads to Don Corneo's hideout, but unfortunately a monster steals the supposedly key to the door. But why supposedly? Well, it is because the monster actually stole the necklace that belonged to Leslie's missing bride, who was chosen to be Don Corneo's wife, and Leslie wants to get revenge on him. Leslie tries to solve his problem with Corneo himself, but unfortunately without any success. Corneo takes away his gun and poor Leslie is helpless. Corneo escapes, but the monster stays and confronts us. After killing it, Leslie is finally free and gives us the grappling guns, which will help us climb over the wall and find a way to the Shinra building. And there we go on our way to kick some Shinra fighters' asses. Reaching the top, we encounter a robot standing in our main pass. We killed that pile of bolts, and now Ares, we are coming to save you for Cloud's harem. An explosion occurs, but our heroes are too resilient and successfully save themselves. And there it is, the Shinra building, guarded so-so. There are many of them, but they're blind. How can they not notice a huge guy with a machine gun for arms on such a truck? The plan works and we make it to the parking lot. Well, here we are entering the building, we are currently in the lobby. Tifa is amazing and finds a keycard that will open the way to the upper floor. Specifically, we need to reach the 65th floor, where Hojo's laboratory is located, but this keycard only grants access up to the 59th floor. Well, we are climbing the stairs to the 59th floor. Hang on, Bars, hang on. We reach the 59th floor and now we'll be tourists who have access to the 63rd floor. We find a spot where during the tour they show us how the planet was before us modern humans. There was another civilization that was searching for the promised land to harness its energy, and Shinra wants to find the place to extract even more energy. After the tour we are invited by Mayor of Midgar, who Shinra forced to sit in the archives where he has no power. He also helped us with the alarm that was actually raised. Let's say he's the mayor who's part of Avalanche. We go to the mayor's bodies and he gives us a kick out for the upper floors. Now we need to track down Hojo, but first we go into the ventilation system and eavesdrop on the meeting. The meeting is in full swing. The idea of reconstructing Sector 7 was rejected, but creating a new Midgar is always welcome. Well, in short, we follow Hojo's trail. There he is already in our sights, but he is cunning, so he just leaves and sends his creation after us. Well, we find Ares and now she is practically safe. There is also a dog threatening Hojo, but unfortunately it doesn't reach him in time. Ares comes the dog with her magical hands. By the way, his name is Red 13. Well, as always, Cloud is delirious and sees his mother, or rather Genova, and loses consciousness. We wake up in a place where Ares was in her childhood with her real mother, and yeah, Shinra thinks she will lead them to the promised land, but she herself doesn't know where it is. Ledge and Mayor contact us saying they'll rescue us with a helicopter and it's time to head to the rooftop. And there we see Genova peacefully sleeping and resting. They create all sorts of monsters based on her. And once again Sephiroth appears and tosses Cloud down. Meanwhile, as we run around the laboratory, monsters created by Hojo fight us. He is trying to test them on us. We've had quite a run through the laboratory and now we are following the trail left by Genova. Sephiroth stole it. On the rooftop we find President Shinra and he threatens Barret with a weapon. That's how he repaired us for saving him, but in general he was mocking Barret. Why did Barret ask him to shut down the macro reactors instead of just asking to clear Avalanche's name? Suddenly Sephiroth kills him, and then impales Barret, and now we face Genova Dreamweaver. It turns out that this monster is a person in a cloak. Well, Sephiroth lives with Genova's body. Barret is okay, his spirit is healed. The Church blow up Avalanche's helicopter, and then Rufus, the vice president of Shinra, steps onto the battlefield. After Cloud defeats him, he flies away. Meanwhile, Barret and Ares fight against the arsenal. After defeating it, we descend to the lobby, where Barret and Ares are surrounded by Shinra soldiers, but then Cloud and Tifa come to the rescue and we leave on the highway. Along our way, Shinra robots confront us once again, and at the end of the path, Sephiroth appears. Again, there is some strange interlude where Zack is supposed to encounter his final journey. Sephiroth opens the path to another dimension. Well, we cross over to the other side of the portal and witness total chaos. 3 whispers appear, which are one of the stages leading to defeating the main boss Whisper Harbinger. And we destroyed throughout all of this, we would change our future, which could have been disastrous for this world. And now our final battle against Sephiroth. After defeating him, he joins us in his dimension called the Age of Creation. He tries to persuade us to join his side, but Cloud firmly refuses such an offer. And he leaves us with the warning 7 seconds till the end and fades into the sunset. Rufus becomes the president of Shinra, Sector 7 is undergoing restoration, Biggs turns out to be alive, Zack survives his final battle and heads to Midgar with Cloud. Well, our heroes are ready for further adventures in the world of this game. That is from me.